Hey guys, we're back for another round of podcasting. Let's just step up here. Let's all get stepped up. Step up to some seasonal anime. Now we told ourselves that the last podcast that we did, we'd watch every single show that came out for the sake of making the best podcast possible.
And
we did.
And we freaking did.
And all right, let's just start then.
Yeah.
So the first show we watched, I think, was N Masques, which was the show with the little girl and the knight.
Oh, the little girl and then the guy who's
Hito.
who's a freaking what's it?
Watashi no Hito.
Yeah, that one. Where he just thinks he's protecting little girls or something like that.
Yeah, this show was weird because it starred a knight who didn't really have a knight-like personality unless someone was in danger, which was stupid. And this girl has no backstory given to her whatsoever. And I just wasn't interested.
No, she did it. He did it twice, I remember.
Yeah, he jumped out as a hero a few times, but
yeah,
I have no idea where the show is going.
There was no context to that. We know that his dad was a knight. And becoming a knight or something like that. And then for some reason he left home, decided to save little girls.
So, the anime, something
Kiss
about the
them on
visuals
the hand.
was like unspeakably bad to me. Like the character designs were so weird. Like the main girl had like short silver hair and like deep red eyes. It was weird.
Yeah, it was.
And there was that maid girl that had like sewage green hair.
She had like a bunch of maids, but the one maid that stood beside her or something like that, because of some sort of, she doesn't have parents or something like that, isn't it?
I don't know. We only watched one episode.
Yeah, I'm glad we only watched episode as well. Fuck that. But it wasn't as bad.
Yeah,
as I expected it to be. I mean, it's watchable, I guess.
I was hoping it would be good because it's made by Silverlink, and I usually like that studio. Like I was freaking talking about Watamote and how much I like that show. So I was just kind of hoping for good things from it, but it was just pretty boring.
Yeah, it was just.
It went through the motions. It didn't really throw anything interesting in.
There was nothing really that would pull you into the show because it was just like one guy, the girl, and then like the guys. There was the security guards that wanted to steal the little girl for some.
Oh yeah, that was stupid.
That wasn't really explained. And then he came.
I also didn't get why he woke up in her bed. Like
no. He woke up in his own bed. She woke up beside him.
Oh right, yeah.
That's what happened.
The show hasn't been like overtly sexual yet, that I remember, but I feel like it doesn't have completely pure intentions.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going in the safe direction.
Yeah, this doesn't strike me as daytime television.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't.
All right, so that was that.
Yeah,
it was fine, I guess. Next up was what did we watch next? What even is next? It was Heavy Object, of course.
Heavy Object.
Heavy Object was the first show that we watched that was truly terrible.
Yeah. So
Heavy Object is a show by let me see.
I think it's JC Staff.
Really?
Yeah. Produced JC
God, they just freaking killed it with freaking Prison School. What the hell's going on? Yeah, so this show was terrible, and I realized it was terrible within seconds. Like, it's another one of these terrible light novel adaptations with freaking teenagers running the world. The whole structure of the episode was just fan service, then exposition scene. There'd be like these minute-long scenes of him just explaining the world's lore, and I just am not listening, because it's impossible to care. I don't even know who's talking for most of it. It's just these internal monologues that I hate.
So the concept of the anime is that there was these wars, and they revolutionized wars by creating these massive Death Star-looking freaking objects.
It's the stupidest name, by the way.
That have guns, and they're created by people and whatnot. And we're jumped into these fellow teenagers. One's a mechanic. The other one is a freaking idiot. I don't know.
I don't know if they're like overtly teenagers, but they act like teenagers.
Well, they definitely. Well,
okay.
But and then the freaking object is controlled by like a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah, they did this terrible bondage bit halfway through the episode. After it was taking itself seriously for about 15 minutes, and then it just freaking threw in the towel and said, "All right, let's just go ham."
Yes, she decided to. No, not even she. she got trapped in between the belt.
And he wouldn't even save her
Yeah,
because he was too scared that he might touch her, which is like
yeah.
the stupidest thing. But then she just ejected herself anyway.
And she's your typical like dull,
Yeah, there's nothing to her.
monotone girl.
She was not
she
interesting. I did not
she
find her cool.
she's just a typical dull so sometimes that works, but you could she's driving around a massive cylinder. No, not
Yeah,
cylinder, a
yeah.
sphere. So I
It's just
mean,
such a
like,
weird concept for a show. I don't know what they were thinking.
I don't know. It kind of just didn't make sense to me. Now, they tried to explain the military and stuff like that, and then there's this little scene where apparently he was dreaming or something like that, and she died or something or the other, but that didn't make sense either. I don't
Character
know,
designs
man.
in this show were slightly better, but nothing of note. Like if this girl's headlining, then that's a problem. Because
Yeah,
her character design was not great.
yeah.
They're
It
definitely
was.
better than the last show.
To what? No, I remember they were teenagers because the one who was teaching them was a girl who smoked cigarettes, and they explained she was 18. I remember.
Ah, okay.
Well, so I mean, fuck. The military is run by a bunch of freaking squares. That's great.
All right, that's her sucked.
Yeah.
Next up was Chivalry of a Failed Knight, which was the show about the dude entering the school of like knights that with giant swords and magic, but he's the worst in the school, and he like walks in on this girl who's in his bedroom.
Oh yeah. All right.
So this show
Yeah.
also sucked.
Okay. Let's. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see it. Yeah. I'm looking at it right now, and I'm just yeah.
And this show was
Yeah.
actually by Silverlink. So this was the first show that really clued me into how far they had fallen. So this was just the most generic light novel setup you can picture. The girls, we introduced to the girl's panties before we see her face.
Mm-hmm.
The whole first 10 minutes don't really make any damn sense because you it doesn't he walks into his room, but everybody acts like he's done something wrong.
Yeah, as if it's her room, but then apparently the school makes a quote unquote mistake
Yeah, that
and put
the
and
whole
put and
setup is just
puts
complete
and puts
nonsense.
them together in the same room because apparently the girl's the best,
And
so
apparently she's the
called.
very best in like the country. So
In terms of yeah, yeah,
she had to come over from Germany, but he's the worst.
yeah,
But then he beats her.
yeah,
So
straight
it's
up.
like it's contradicting itself in the first episode. They
Well,
give
it
all
kind
these
of explained
reasons.
it. It kind of explained it. They said that sword skill and combat isn't graded, but like intelligence and stuff
That
is.
is the stupidest oversight. Like what the hell?
Considering you're going to a school that's full of people with massive swords and you're going to expect them to fight, wouldn't you like kind of want to be graded on sword skill since everything's like based around massive swords? Question mark.
Yeah, so that was weird. This
Dot dot.
I will say this show had was slightly more likable than a lot of the other stuff this season. Like the girl had more personality.
Yeah, but this show just like this was the first show that we watched of like its kind this season, and then as soon as we watched more shows, we kind of were like,
Yeah, it was followed directly by the Asterisk War,
it was
which
is exactly the same
the
show.
same show. We watched it like right afterwards, and I was like, "This is the same damn thing.
It's
The
just,
same stuff happened. The same kid transferred into a school, ran in on a girl, and some stupid fan service scene. Except this one was even more nonsensical because she was like thanking him for like giving back her handkerchief, and then immediately tries to kill him,
yep, straight
and
off
nobody
the
sees a problem with it.
fights him to a duel. I put these two in the same category because in the
Yeah,
same
the
they're the
same
exact same thing.
generic stupid fantasy light novel harem adaptation.
No, but they're exactly the same thing. It was so mind blowing
How
how
creatively
similar they
bankrupt
were.
these two shows were.
How creepily similar they were. They were exactly the same thing. Like I'm looking at both of them now. Both of the main girls have like pinkish, purplish hair. The main guy's a straight up faggot.
A
Like
beta
yeah,
with nothing interesting to offer
a
whatsoever.
beta male, which somehow has like amazing sword skill out of nowhere. Freaking
The guy from the first show definitely had more personality, and the girl from the first show had more personality. Like they try and hint at some sort of romance, but that was dumb. But they had more. They just seemed to
oh
try
yeah.
harder. It didn't
Oh
seem
dude,
as robotic.
I'm remembering a scene from Calvary where he finds him asleep.
Oh yeah, she tried to molest.
And nah, it wasn't even that. She touched his back, and then he was like, "Oh God, this is a guy's back," and I was just like, "No." And then he rolls over or something, hands trapped, and then she questions. She's like, "Oh no, how do I get my hand from under his back?" So instead of pulling it out, right, she gets on top of him. That's her logic. No, not even joking. That's exactly the scene. I remember it because I was just like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" I was
And I'm thinking, I know this. There's no romance going to show up in this show. This show does not have the balls to create a romance, so this is all pointless,
oh,
especially in the first episode.
nah,
So,
the romance isn't gonna go anywhere. But like,
but the Asterisk War, I'm struggling to even think of things to say. It was almost all exposition. Like the characters were literally just telling each other how the world works, and I don't care how this introducing all these other characters and faceless, boring males.
I think I just gave up interest because I knew how much this was the same thing to the Cavalry show. Because I was just like, look, man, you've introduced the same thing like you did with the last show. Why the frick should I pay attention to? Because I know it's exactly which direction it's going to go in as well.
I'm actually kind of disappointed if this is an A1 Pictures show, and they usually make pretty crappy shows, but they're at least they usually have pretty decent starts and like fool you into thinking there'll be something special. This show didn't even try.
I
This
don't
show
think.
is the worst thing. This is one of the most like the least impact from a show that I've had in a long time.
I know what they're gonna do as well because I remember towards the end of the episode of Asterisk, like the girl was like she was up against some guy who never beat her before or something like that, and then he
Oh
questioned
yeah,
why she
yeah.
fought, and then she was like getting all angry and pissy, and she was like, "Oh yeah, why do you fight?" So I'm guessing she's lost a family member or something like that. I'm calling that. And then she's like, "That's why I fight because he
Some
told me
freaking
to."
tragic backstories coming up.
Yeah, yeah, or something like that. And then they'll move on from that, and then she'll fall into this guy's arms like the little whore that she is, and we'll see. And that's it, really. That's
I'm
it.
just gonna steer around this show. I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, moving on. Next, we watched a show I had a lot of promise, which was a Bones show called Concrete Revolutio, which is a really strange name, but this was the crazy one with with the superheroes and the masked people and the magical girls. Like this show was cool, I'd say, and it had really awesome art and pretty cool action scenes, but it was just too crazy.
Kind of reminded me of a show that was happening last season, but I can't remember the name. It had exactly the same art style, but it was like, nah,
Dandelion?
nah, it wasn't Dandelion, it was something else. But it was like kind of like a superhero show as well. But I'm not gonna try and think of it because it'll take too long. But like this show, it was cool at the beginning because it was like, well, kind of like just jumped you into the middle of like
Yeah,
just
yeah.
just absolute
It has
whatever
the
the
most
hell's going
kitchen
on.
sink approach to like storytelling that I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Suddenly, the
yeah,
girl that was just a waitress in our eyes is now a magical girl, and
out of
they're
nowhere.
rambling about things that I don't understand. It just
Yeah,
uh,
but like she was a waitress at some sort of cafe thing, and then she serves this guy who's the main character of the show, I think. And then she she's just like, "Yo, I need help." And then she's like, "Yo, okay." And then he then hides in the bathroom as she is scooping out these two weird-looking guys who apparently are doing some sort of deal by leaking information or whatnot. And
yeah.
and then
I found it
I don't
strange how
know.
they could just dash around the city and like they were trying to conceal their identities, but they were
Yeah,
also just dashing around the city.
yeah.
Everybody could see them in these giant fights. At the end, they like shrink a giant into like it was weird. I'm trying to think of a nice way to say autism, but something this show was just crammed with crazy.
No,
Like I could not make sense of
this
it.
random guy, the guy that came out of nowhere, I think, because we watched it a little while ago, but he was possessed by the giant, and then the purple-haired dude saved him somehow. And I don't know, man. This show was all over the place for me.
Yeah, it was definitely evocative and it left an impression. The character designs were really great. The action scenes were pretty cool. They're also super crazy, so it's hard to really keep track of what you're
It
looking
was
at.
too crazy. I just didn't know I didn't know what was going on. It was just all over the place.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad time. It's just not cohesive, and it definitely didn't make the characters out to be interesting. Like I
I,
don't particularly care where they're going.
I feel like the main character and the magical girl should be in two different shows.
Yeah, it seems like
I
it.
just
If
don't
this were
think
just a straight
they
up
weren't.
magical girl show about some
Okay.
girl that works at a cafe, I'd be more interested. But instead, it's this weird, strange fusion with about four different superheroes.
I don't, yeah, I just didn't understand it. Especially since like some of the superpowers just didn't make sense to me. Like I'm pretty sure like I can't even remember. The guy like pulled out scissors or something like that. I don't know. The show, I don't know. It was a mess for me. It was a massive mess.
Alright, next we watched Comet Lucifer,
Oh
which
Christ.
has not very much to say about it. It gave me like an Eureka 7 vibe,
It was,
and
to be honest, the Comet Lucifer wasn't that bad.
yeah, well, it wasn't terrible. I'm not terribly interested to see where it goes because I know it's going to be. I have a feeling that it's a light novel adaptation where some girl is. Oh, I just looked up. It's an original series. How about that? So this is an
Yeah.
original series about a girl that's in a gem, but the girl herself wasn't in the first episode. So I was just waiting for that big reveal the entire time.
Yeah.
It was pretty good looking, like
Yeah, it was good.
really good location design. I like the character designs a lot. The boy didn't do anything for me. He wasn't terribly interesting. Like he ended up
It
being
was
like a
kind of funny.
hero.
It was kind of funny at times because I remember like it was at the start. The guy he was coming home because he was looking for gems. He found a gem. He then was on his way home, and then he forgot to get bread. So he went back out to get bread, and then on his way
Oh yeah,
back
the
from
craziness began.
on his way back from getting the bread, that's when shit got
Yeah,
crazy.
he started
Because
saving this girl that he knows, but it didn't
the
seem
girl
like
he's
he was
friends with,
doing it out of his own will. It just seemed like
no, it
he
was
was
forced
thrown
upon
into the
him.
situation.
Yeah, he had no choice, and so like she hops on his little hover scooter or whatever it is, and then she's like move, and then like you finally realize why she's running. She's being chased.
Yeah, her brother's trying to kill her because she doesn't want to get married.
It was at
That,
first it wasn't trying to kill her, but then it was
yeah,
just like
but
whatever.
he was clearly trying to kill her. Like what the hell? It's
Like
just so strange.
he rammed like the girl's supposed to have an arranged marriage with some random guy. The brother's bringing her home so he can make it happen or
It's pretty
something.
generic to be
Yeah,
honest.
and
Now that I think
then
about it.
and then instead of like trying to stop the scooter, he's just like, all right, I'm gonna drive up beside this little tiny, teeny bicicleta and fucking ram into it with a massive car, which then they go spiraling out of control and land into this massive hole, which is not explained, and somehow survive. They
Yeah, that was the
survive.
stupidest part. They fall
They
maybe 100 feet
more than that.
on concrete
They
on Earth on the Earth's crust in some dirty cave, and they're both like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm
yeah
good." I'm like,
yeah
"How are you in
not,
whole pieces right now?"
not even a scratch. Not even a scratch. They survive. I don't know how, but they survive.
Then the stupidest part of the episode was when some mech finds them and it sees them. It's like, I guess I should kill them instead
Mm.
of just trying to
Like,
reason with them or something.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's clearly there's a human in there and he doesn't know what they're doing there, so his first response is to try and kill them.
yeah. The bad guys seem to be looking for something, and then
They're looking for the gem.
yeah, they're looking for the gem, which was in the middle of the thing, because the main character's gem that he found reacted with the gems that they found eventually inside this cave and turned it into a little girl. So she's unconscious. The mecha thing comes in and was like, "What's going on here?" And then
Yeah, it was.
a guy above was like, "Kill him."
Is that how the episode ended? With her
Yeah,
just turning into a girl. So I can't even comment on the main girl because I didn't see episode 2.
you didn't see anything about her.
So maybe she's great and maybe she just completely carries the show's weight. Who knows? Let me know if you've seen it.
Apart from like them falling, God knows how high and surviving, and the brother trying to kill her little sister, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it was fun. It was just more. It felt less like a show and more like the trailer, the preview to just get you invested, and I'm not invested.
Yeah,
It's just setup. This whole episode was just setup.
true.
All right, next was High School Star Musical.
Oh yeah.
I was looking forward to this show because I like anime musicals. So when in the rare occasion that an anime ends up being a musical, I think that's pretty cool. This show didn't have any musical numbers. It's literally just about boys trying to get on stage, and it was really weird. It's hard for me to even summarize because it was a weird mess of stuff happening.
So the first image that I got from the show when looking at it was like, oh, it's just free, but without the swimming
Yeah,
and singing
I knew it
instead.
was going to be a more female oriented show. I didn't think it would go as ham as it did.
Yeah, true.
I figured it would have more appeal outside of that, but it didn't. It didn't seem to be interested.
It didn't seem to hit the appeals that I thought many people would want to be hit. Because I wouldn't watch that show, period. But I'd know why people would watch that show because of they'd obviously have this like little. I thought they'd even have this like little Hibuki euphonium bit where they would be practicing or something, and like you would hear like the little numbers that they're doing. Because I like
Nah,
those
I doubt
numbers.
it.
I like those numbers in Hibuki euphonium where they
Yeah,
just start
everybody did. They
practicing.
were fantastic, but
But like
what
it didn't even
studios
come
make
close.
those?
It didn't come close because they didn't have anything. Obviously, it's not about just singing. It was about dancing as well. And I don't know. The dancing to me was just cringy. That was
Yeah, it
it.
was. Wait, was it all 3G? Was it CG? If I remember correctly.
I think it was CG because the show starts you off in this the main character watching one of the teachers, one of the senpais or whatever at the show on the at the school dancing, and he was just like, "Whoa, bro, I
Oh,
want,
then the rest of the episode
I
is
want to,
trying
I
to get
want to,
into the club.
yeah, I want to dance like that." And then you suddenly see the gang, like not really see them together, but you see the individuals like flying all over the place, just doing what God knows what. One of them's a massive asshole. One of them's a massive like queer.
If they wanted the show to work, they probably should have just given it to KyoAni, because that way the dance scenes would actually have the impact they need. Because the dance they weren't good. Like I can't imagine watching a show about a musical and this boy dancing group if the dancing isn't fun to watch.
Nah,
Like it did not seem. It was
didn't even come close. It wasn't that great. It
none of
was
the characters. No one left an impression in the first episode. It was just very generic.
the show was really dull.
Yeah,
The show
there was
was
nothing
really,
to it.
really, really dull.
It wasn't one of the worst shows of the season, but it was one of the shows that left the least impression. Because it just wasn't
One of the
that
shows that
special.
was just like completely boring after like 10 minutes.
Alright, and a similar show was Dance with Devils, which actually ended up being a musical. Very strange.
Yeah, it was really weird. I was thinking about this the whole time. I was like, if the last show wanted to become like some sort of musical show, they should have at least tried to do what this show did, which at first didn't even like to me look like it was gonna have any sort of musical numbers in it.
I could kind
But
of tell by looking at the cast picture, which was all these really pretty boys, really detailed drawings. Like the weird one with the coat that's like hot belly on. That was dumb, but
I
this
found that so funny when they were introducing the guys, like, and all of them had like their little persona about them. So one had like a little rose in his mouth. The other guy was like the main guy with like a jacket or whatever, and then this one guy, he just wouldn't put on his freaking jacket. He just left it there. God
yeah.
knows what. Jesus Christ.
So for
But
whatever reason, this show actually incorporates its musical numbers into the narrative. Sometimes in ways that don't even make sense. Sometimes they'll sing when they're in danger. But anyway, it stars this very bland girl who left like no impression, and
she's
she's getting just she has some weird magic power about her. Like she has some weird amulet or something.
she has a she her mum made her an amulet which apparently just it prevents being hypnotized by fucking demon people or whatever. That isn't really explained, but I'm guessing if you keep watching, you'll find out what goes on. Because and then basically it starts off with her going to school, and then she gets called into the what even can you call it? Was it council office or something?
Yeah, then they tell her off. She runs away. They
No,
see
no, no,
her
they didn't. They
power.
didn't tell her off. They didn't tell her off.
Oh, they tried.
They tried to. They accused her of something, and then she was like, "No, I didn't do it." And then they kind of like tried to seduce her or something with their hypnotic powers, and her amulet was having none of it. She was,
Yeah.
and then she snapped out of it, and she was like, "Nah, bruh," and then she ran away.
This is another one of those episodes that doesn't really make any sense unless you know what's happening.
Mm.
This is just supposed to try and get you interested,
Yeah,
but I'm not
just
interested.
trying to cream you in.
So I guess they kidnapped her mother, and then she went home and told the police, and then
No, no, the council people didn't kidnap her. It was somebody. It was some other like people.
oh yeah, they're trying to save her.
Yeah, because they kidnapped the mother. Oh yeah, by the way, main girl has a brother. By the way, yeah, who's
Oh
who's
yeah, she does.
the brother is in Europe as a apprentice priest or something like that. And as soon as when her mother's captured, he calls the brother. Brother's like, go to a safe house or something. I'm coming home. And then on her way to her friend's house, She is then confronted by demons,
The demons.
the demons who hold her down and ask her where I think a book is. I'm not very sure what they were looking for specifically. I think they were looking
We
for.
need to watch more episodes to know what the hell is going on. But
Yeah, no,
I'm not even going to call this a bad show. This is just a show that's completely not for me.
yeah, true.
Like, this strikes me as a much better version of Diabolic Lovers, if you remember that show.
Nope.
That was the show that we watched at Ben's house with
Oh, freaking hell! That show sucked dick.
the vampires
That
and
show
the
kissed my asshole.
yeah.
That show
We
AIDS.
watched one episode of that show. That show was a lot more ham-fisted and to the point with its fan service. This show was a bit more subtle.
Yeah, this show kind of eased you into it, which wasn't that bad to be honest. I would definitely watch this show over that freaking piece of crap we watched at Ben's because that was
Yeah.
fun.
And this is made by a studio that makes a lot of these slice of life romantic comedies. Like, this is made by Brains Base, who made Natsume's Book of Friends and Moru Penguin Drum
Watch
and
that show.
Tonari no
That show's
Kibitsukun
decent as well.
and My Teen Romantic Comedy. So I'd say they usually look better than this.
Mm.
But I'm just glad there's no CG. There
The
was no CG to speak of.
the the song numbers were interesting as
Yeah.
well.
I'm not going to say that this was a bad show. It was just
No,
a
it
show
wasn't.
that I'm
I think it was
completely
very-
not interested in.
It was very very decent. There you go.
Yeah,
That's
it was
all I
like
can
a
say.
5-6.
Yeah, because I don't see much things bad with the show, but I also don't
There's
see
just
much
nothing
things
in it
good
for
with
me.
Yeah,
There's nothing in here that I care about.
yeah. So like, I mean, yeah, very.
I wouldn't have even minded if there was even one other show that I enjoyed this season at this point. So next up, we watched Anti-Magic School, and this was the show where I really realized, I felt the gravity of how bad this season is. Anti-Magic Academy, me and you both summed up this show by the poster. We looked at the poster, we looked at the genres, and I said, okay, it's going to be some stupid fantasy light novel adaptation with some teenage boy who's the worst in his troop, and he's surrounded by all these hot girls that want to be with him, and there's going to be some conflict, and it's going to... And this show may have been worse than Heavy Object. It was more memorable, but it was, like, unspeakably
It was
bad.
memorable in the worst case possible.
It had the most clunky exposition I've ever seen. It just begins with, like, some kids making fun of him carrying a sword, and he's like, why are they making fun of me just because I carry a sword even though I'm in the lowest troop in the academy, and yada yada yada.
So apparently they're in the future, and swords are outdated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was just talking to himself, too.
Yeah, he was just like, nah, man, swords are cool. You tell yourself that, man. And he's like, yeah. And then he goes to his because he owns this platoon in this anti-magic school, like a little group, and he walks in, and the first thing he sees
is them shooting some porn.
Yeah, is them filming some good old-fashioned bunny hopping porn.
With this blonde girl that I am certain I've seen somewhere else, like at least a few times.
Yeah,
like, she had pretty much the same design, and the first thing that struck me about her is that even as a harem, this is bad harem design. Like, if you look, like, her boobs are way too big. They had no business being that big for her, considering her character design. That was just, it was bad design. Like, if you look at High School DxD, which is like the king of this type of show, you'll notice that they go for every single type of figure for the sake of being the perfect harem and appealing to everyone's
fetishes. Like, the little girl
fetishes.
was Le Petite for a reason.
Yeah, they have like the medium, the small, and the giant. But this show, everyone just has the fattest tits, and it makes no sense.
Boobalicious boobs. I have no idea why they did this, but anyway, so they after that.
Did they even explain why they were shooting shots of her in a bunny outfit?
I don't know. They wanted to get the main character freaking full of life,
and they get angry at him for walking in, even though it's his
and then it's his fault.
So anyway, this girl shows up and she starts telling them all how stupid they are, and she starts giving him a hard time for like groping her or whatever. But even then, during the scene, he like uses his sword to like deflect bullets. So that was impressive enough.
So apparently swords are outdated, but when you can use a sword like that, it's not.
Why is no one... Either he's incredibly talented, or the sword isn't all that bad.
Yeah, but he did like some Kirito-kun shit where he was just like freaking...
Yeah, it was some weird stupidness, and like the squad leader like whispered Oni-chan in
Yeah. So it's like... So basically, the new girl that they get is a girl that was stripped of something because she did something wrong. So she was sent, instead of being like expelled, she was shooting down to the lowest tier possible, which happens to be this guy's platoon.
Oh, and how this team works, how this school works is the most backward, stupid thing of the show. Like, they explain it as they go to this school and they go out on missions and fight real criminals, and the more criminals they kill and the more missions they solve, the higher their grade goes and the more they move up.
And
If they
considering they
fail,
die,
they die.
yeah. So like, there's no second option.
And this is all very above.
You either win or you lose really badly. You know.
And she gets angry at the main character for like groping her at when this bunny girl just shot an RPG in the wrong direction.
No, it wasn't even an RPG. She's the sniper. She's an idiot, dude. The small girl is retarded.
And she starts getting angry, like, "Oh, how dare she come over here and tell us how to run our platoon?" I'm like, you just shot the sniper in the wrong direction. You nearly got the guy killed. Then she starts cracking under the pressure and like monologuing about her freaking dark childhood, her tragic backstory, and I'm like, what the hell? How can you come here and tell them all they're doing their jobs badly and then proceed to do your job?
This was after their second mission, because the first mission they kind of won, but it was terrible. And then the second mission, they breach, they find dead bodies in bins. She then is really angry and threatens to kill the bad guys, which, to be honest, it should be part of their job. I don't think it would matter if they did kill one.
No, but even then, she was the one telling them how unprofessional they are and how honor-bound she is. And then she's here trying to completely go against the rules.
Yeah. And then she tells about her backstory, which, to be honest, I'll be honest with you, I didn't listen to. I didn't do it.
Yeah, there was nothing of worth in her backstory.
I forgot, but then this guy just says, it'll be okay, and then she's just like, oh my god. And then,
so I'm guessing some sort of quasi romance is going to spring up between them. I completely don't care.
Mm-hmm.
This show was unspeakably bad. Like, this was the halfway point came, and I thought the show was over, but I was like, what? How has this only been 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Like, you know a show is bad when you really feel like it's wasting your time.
It's dragging. It's dragging. Like, you have to literally drag your balls across broken glass just to finish this show. It was terrible.
I don't believe in the idea that something's killing anime, or that anime's coming to a grinding halt, but if anything's killing anime, it shows like this.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I've never
terrible
minded, like, every season having, like, a harem show, because, like, I feel like every season needs one.
Yeah, so that's just them making
maybe even two. Maybe even three. Right?
But here, there was, like, 4 or 5.
No, there was, like, at least 6. Like, I'm gonna try and count right now. But anyway, yeah, that show smelled.
N Masques, I don't think that wasn't like overtly. It didn't do anything. It hasn't done anything too bad yet.
It hasn't done anything. It's innocent for now.
Yeah, I'm guessing that'll change.
The vibes
these maid girls are giving me bad vibes. But
yeah, but the vibes it's giving off is just like it's going in a terrible direction. But anyway, next show.
Next show was Shomin Sample. Or Shomin Sample. Whatever. None of these words make any sense. Shomin Sample. So this was the show about all the girls trapped in the school. This was the very strange, stupid show about a commoner being taken and put in an all-girls school. Like, the second a title of an anime has more than 5 words, I get scared. This one's called Ore ga Ojo-sama Gakko ni Shomin Sample Toshite Getsareta-ken. Also known as Story in which I was kidnapped by a young lady at school to be a sample of the common people. So this show, the poster was... This is another show by Silverlink. I don't understand how the studio that made Baka and Test, and Kokoro Connect, and Watamote, and Non Non Biori are suddenly making like some of the most abjectly horrible shows I've ever seen. But this show was like the stupidest thing ever.
This show just didn't make sense. This show
it didn't make sense.
Everything about this show did not make sense.
There were hundreds of girls in Japan
that
are like
fuckfest I've ever seen.
Yeah, so
it starts off. Where does it start off?
It starts off with him getting dragged from his real life against his will. No one seemed to communicate with his family or his school.
By these muscly guys as well. He is dragged to this random school in a car. He's hijacked with no like, oh, where'd this guy go? Oh, no one cares. But anyway, he's dragged. These muscly guys take him into a car and drive him to this new school where he's he's freaking he's me greeted by this maid character again, which seems to be a common thing this season. There seems to be a lot of maids flying around.
Yeah, I guess this is Year of the Maid.
Uh-huh. And then she then takes him to the principal's office or whatever, and they basically tell him, all right, you're a commoner, you're in a school full of fucking retards, all right? You're gonna teach these retards how to be a commoner. And
In a way that didn't
in
even make any
an
sense.
all-girls school, have
I
you know?
I don't understand how there are like hundreds of girls in this regular city in Japan who are so rich that they're literally being kept from the outside world. Like these girls don't know what an iPhone is.
The phone is,
Like
period.
that's not even logical. That's not even realistic.
Yep.
Like why wouldn't rich girls know what an iPhone is more?
I don't know. Well, I would expect so, but apparently they're being literally locked off from every other person, period.
And they're all just so enamored with commoners that
Yeah,
they just they drape themselves over him. There, they write him letters to say
yeah,
thank you for lending him the phone.
yeah. It
There was
was,
this ridiculous freaking shot where the girl.
all that stuff is ridiculous, but the bit that had me was the fact that they said that the reason why they picked this guy is because he's in love with really muscly dude.
Oh yeah, they wouldn't let a guy be in an all girl school, but they think he's gay.
They think he's a homosexual.
Even
So
though he made it really clear by saying, "You think I'm gay," and they're like, "Yeah, we think you're gay. Are you telling us that we were wrong? Because
yeah,
if you are, we'd kick you out and hurt you." And he's like, "No, I'm gay."
yeah, he's
So
definitely
it's like they know that he's not gay, but they're humoring him.
yeah. So
Either that, or these are the stupidest people in the history of anime.
yeah. And then so after that, he is then shot into a classroom full of girls who are just creaming over this guy because
There's
they've
this
never seen
excellent freaking scene where she just
that.
trips.
Dude, let's get to that. That was brilliant. So
She
basically,
trips.
they take the
She wants to
iPhone.
hand him his this box and stuff, but somehow she trips. So
I'll explain the physics. I'll explain the physics. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. This scene, we rewinded. It was
yeah, rewinded it a few times.
yeah,
This was the best scene
this was so
of the show.
funny. So like after he's given the iPhone, after he's like after all the girls have seen his iPhone and stuff, he asks for it back. So she goes towards him with a letter, a basket of like assorted fruits or something like that, and the iPhone for letting them watch it, look at it or something like that. So as he's giving him this little basket full of stuff, she somehow drops it. She drops it out of her hand right in front of her and does a 90-degree body turn. All right.
She trips in the air, rises upwards.
She stands on, but she somehow is able to stand on 2 feet, and the force of her dropping a basket allows her body to twist sideways.
Yeah, she also does she does a weird 90-degree twist as well, so that she can land in his arms.
Yeah,
Like in a way that just doesn't make
he
sense.
landed in his arms perfectly, where both arms were able to grab hold of her. So it was that it was oh my god. I just oh
Then eventually, like 3/4 of the way through the episode, this orange haired girl shows up, and she's just. And then I realize she's the main character. I'm like, why is she the main? She's not even like interesting, and her design sucks.
she was just a massive annoyance, to be
So
honest.
supposedly she has no friends, and she wants to like assimilate this guy's commoner culture so
Mm.
that she can make friends.
Yep.
But I don't care.
Oh yeah.
I don't care about her and her
Also, the guy almost got raped as well. If you remember.
when.
Remember, he was outside or something. I don't know
Oh
how.
yeah, she
Like,
freaking glomped him.
she pinned him down. Was like, "Give me a kiss," and yeah,
According to the show's poster, there's a lolly gonna show up soon, so look forward to that.
yeah.
The doll look in her eyes like they always tend to, and there's more maids to look forward to. So this show really has all the workings of a modern classic.
Yeah, this is gonna be top tier.
I don't know what's happening in Silverlink. I don't know if there's been some sort of recent gas leak that's made its way over to the studio or something.
I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to make a quick buck out of a 13-year-old kid.
Yeah, but I really doubt that a show like this will be more successful than, say, Watamote. Like, I was wondering while watching Anti-Magic School, I started thinking to myself, do the creators even enjoy this? Like, how can they enjoy this? How can they enjoy watching the same show that's been being made for some time now, just regurgitated with a few new bells and whistles? Like, this sucks. This show was terrible.
Yeah, this show was absolutely terrible. I'm starting to think, was it the worst show of the season? Because I rewatched every episode, and I'm starting to contemplate maybe.
That was either, I'd probably say that was Heavy Object or at least this one had the 90-degree banana peel. So
Yeah, the banana peel, whoop, and then
whoa, and it like started moving the camera around all these strange ways for like 30 seconds afterwards. But yeah, this I'd say either the Asterisk War or the Anti-Magic School was the worst show. Alright, so next up was Valkyrie Drive Mermaid.
oh, dude.
Okay.
Dude, alright, but before we get into this, you know how you were saying like of this show is apparently popular?
Yeah, it's
I know a lot of people that actually like this show as well.
Yeah,
I know a
it
lot of
seems to
people
be a
that
bit more
actually
popular
really
than the
enjoy
rest.
it, which is weird.
So this is a Yuri fantasy porn adaptation, from what I can tell. Like the first episode
Can't
spared
deny
no
it's not
expense.
porn because
This is about girls fingering each other and turning each other into guns. I'm not even exaggerating.
Wait. So like, okay. So basically, right? There's this girl. She's going to a school. She's then. What happens to her? I think she's then.
No, she was walking on her way to school, but then she ends up on the beach somehow.
No, I think she was kidnapped or something like that, and then she ends up on the beach somehow. Forgotten how she gets there. She's then she then finds these two very busty uh girls who then
Scantily clad.
yeah in bikinis and stuff, and I don't know why they were there, but then
I believe we haven't talked about a single good show yet.
yeah so she's like I don't know.
She also have you not
know why.
hatched or
I don't
something
know
like
why.
that? Have you not become a thing?
Yeah, yeah, that's what happens. Yeah, she was like, "Do you not know why you're here?" And you were like, "No." And then she was like, "Ha ha ha."
Oh, let me show you what's
Let me
up.
show you. So then this erotic scene
Then it's,
with the classic bounce chicka wow wow music, and then she's getting felt up by her bestie, and then she shines for a little bit. Thinks she's gonna turn Super Saiyan. Nah, she turns into a fucking machine gun.
I'll be real and come at this from the perspective of this is just porn, so I'll think of it like that when I'm criticizing it. But this show is ugly, and it uses a lot of the same repeating frames in a way that's just gross. And the character designs are these giant, chunky, strange. Other than the main girl, who looks more like her actual age, she's now there's all these other giant girls. All of them have the same strange color scheme, and it's just they're not interesting to look at. They don't look real. They don't come off as very human. They come sort of like Amazonian,
Yeah, and then
and I can't realistically understand why they were on a beach wearing these bikinis, even though I don't know anything about the world yet.
well, apparently the island is a school where freaking all these girls are being turned into guns.
Yeah,
But anyway, we'll get to that. So after that scene, right, the girl gets turned into a gun. She then points it at the little girl. The girl's scared, and then out of fucking nowhere, out of literally the bottom of the ocean, this missile containing
oh yeah,
this missile this missile containing
oh man,
one of the main girls pops out, shoots through the shield, which for some reason this whole island is shielded. We'll probably get to that later. It pops through there, lands right in front of the little girl. The girl pops out of the missile, feels up the little girl, turns her into a gun,
and turn her into a gun,
and then beats up the two busty ladies. And yeah, that's what happens. And then so after that bit, which had me like, what the fuck? They go into the forest, which was beside the island. So they walk through it, and they think the girl that bust out of the missile was mute because she didn't say anything.
Yeah,
I thought
she didn't say anything till the very end of the episode.
yeah, so
she's just an enigma.
Yeah, so she's not saying anything. She's just carrying the little girl that she fingered to turn into a gun, like nothing happened. The little girl's trying to make like small talk or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
and then
none of this episode of dialogue felt organic or interesting in the slightest.
And then
nobody was interesting.
Yeah, they plop out of the forest, and then they find a little castle place. So they both run towards the castle, and they are plopped in the middle of a arena. They were plopped into the middle of an arena where all these other girls from the school plopped down to go watch, apparently to watch
Oh
people
yeah, they
fight.
all get together to watch gladiator fights, and this was when I realized where the show was probably going. So
Yeah,
she walks out in this disgusting frigging scene where this girl shows up bald and gagged and
yeah.
tied up in the back and starts shoving her foot up her ass,
She's
and then she
being,
turns her into a gun.
yeah,
And that was supposed to be like an abusive relationship, I guess, or
but
between the
yeah,
gun toter and the gun.
yeah.
And then the two main characters, they start making out like ooh lesbian style, and then and then she turns her into a gun, and that was more of like a of a harmonious relationship.
Yeah,
So that was probably what made them stronger, and that's probably why they won.
yeah.
So
So like,
I got that theme from episode one. So if
yeah.
that's where the show's going, it had a pretty roundabout way of getting there. But that
Mm.
doesn't make anything interesting. Like I still found it freaking disgusting watching this girl get pushed around and having a foot shoved up her ass, even though she clearly didn't want one.
Yeah, like I get like I don't know about you guys, but I don't find that attractive, even for
It
anime.
was just gross.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. She's clearly not happy. I know that's the point, but
Well,
still.
apparently she was enjoying it, but I mean, shit.
Like, if you want this, why not just watch Nisei Monogatari? Like, that's my thought. Like, Nisei Monogatari can have all these erotic scenes, but it does them well, with clearly like tons of money and effort put in.
Yeah.
Whereas this is just repeating frames, ugly character designs, ham-fisted scenarios. Even the scenarios in that show are ham-fisted, but at least they're interesting.
And I thought the episode we watched was uncensored because you saw the nipples and tits.
Yeah, but that was a censored version.
But that was apparently
What
the
the
censored.
hell?
So we watched that, and then so basically, but during the whole like gladiator scene, this main girl, I think she's some sort of cyborg because she can run at the speed of light and shit.
And I guess they all can.
Yeah, no, I don't think they all can. I think it's only this girl. I think this girl's just fucking some sort of
If she ends up being a cyborg, I swear to God.
cyborg prostitute. She's crazy. Anyway, freaking.
It's hard to even like comment on this show in a meaningful way because it's just so abjectly terrible.
I don't.
There's so little to say.
I don't know what to say apart from it's just porn. That's all I gotta say. Because like, what else can you describe it as? You can kind of see the direction that they want to go in. Like, obviously they wanna build on this little lesbo relationship that the two main characters are going, which is fine. I can understand they want to build a relationship between these two main characters. But like, apart from that, it's just going to be massive scenes of
Yeah, just these giant fan service scenes that aren't entertaining or interesting.
everyone's just gonna get fisted and stuff like that. So in the end, it's just porn.
Yeah, so but I still couldn't even recommend it. I'd still say go watch something like Nisei Monogatari if you want to see these like super erotically charged scenes, but you know, well done.
Mm.
So speaking of which, none of us we're not watching Owarimonogatari because we're not caught up yet.
Yeah.
So we're just in the middle of watching Monogatari second season. We're in like the Mayue arc. So when we're done with that, I guess we'll eventually get to this show.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably the thing is it's probably one of the better shows of the season. Everybody's saying it's great, so I'm sure this is a great show. I'm sure it's a good season. Like Monogatari is usually pretty good.
Well, that's what when I commented on it on one of my friends' things, he was just like, "Don't hate on it, son. It's actually decent." And then like I got a bunch of other comments like, "Yeah, the show is actually pretty good." And I was just like, I was thinking to myself, what do they see in it? Because I didn't see anything. Maybe it's just me, but
Well,
like,
in Monogatari.
no, not Monogatari, the Valkyrie thing.
Oh right, we're still talking about this.
Yeah, so I was just like, whatever. But I didn't mind. It's not my show.
It is more evocative. I'll say it's more interesting. It was definitely not the worst show I saw this season because
Yeah,
it left an impression.
It was definitely.
Unlike Asterisk Wars, which really did feel like A1 Pictures churning out the most regurgitated garbage without even thinking about it. This show, at least it's doing something kind of unique. Like I can't say I've seen a show just like it.
True. It is very unique. I'll give you that. It is very, very unique. Well, it's not unique in the style that I would watch it, but like it's very unique. Let's give it that.
All right, next was Young Blackjack, which I thought was pretty cool, but you hated.
I didn't like it.
This was the show about I've become sullied to it as well after seeing that naked cosplay of Young Blackjack. So Young Blackjack is a show about this surgeon who's like a med school student.
He's like an upcoming like prodigy in the medical student thing places.
Yeah, so he has this really strange patchwork design. I'm guessing like surgery is a part of his life because he had this terrible accident. They haven't explained this, but I'm sure that's where it's going.
There were like little scenes of what happened, but like you didn't really see. Like, I didn't really
He
like
got saved by this
by
by some
this
sort of
doctor.
patchwork doctor.
Yeah, yeah, and he was saved. Like, and then from that experience, he was just like, yeah, I want to do this to other people. Like, he wants to help other people and stuff. So like, you kind of dipped into the show where you kind of realize that all right, they're kind of short on doctors because of some sort of
Yeah,
government.
they're in the middle of a strike, and then
Yeah.
this kid gets hit by a train in the stupidest possible
Oh, it
way.
was so
Like we were
bad.
watching that train come for like 30 seconds.
So basic, so
He had
basically,
no
right,
business being in the way of that
you
train.
know how when trains are find a road where cars come across. There's barriers, right? There's barriers that come from on both sides for each passing of the cars.
Yep.
So this kid for a good I'd say 2 minutes, right, was sitting on the other side of the barrier where the train was going to pass, while the adults on the other side of the barrier, instead of going in, grabbing him and going out, they 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 act as if, oh no, they put their arms over the barrier like, oh
Yeah,
no,
like that was the stupidest freaking
die,
thing. No,
no,
Ryan.
like no, he's gonna die, no, and then 20 seconds later he's
Eventually, we're told that he's hit by it because apparently the train just couldn't stop fast enough. They just couldn't stop that train. So
yeah,
he gets dragged underneath the train and split into two separate parts. And his parents walk up to the young blackjack in like with him
no,
in like a bin bag.
I think it took off his arm or something like that.
Yeah, and they're like, "Please save the kid." And they're
Yeah,
like,
main doctor's like, no, it's not possible.
and
Like,
everybody's on strike. Nobody,
I would
everybody
I would
refuses to
rather,
help.
yeah, I would rather like sew up his left arm and save his life than risk putting on his arm, you know?
So young blackjack shows up and gives him this deal: if you give me like 1,000,000 yen, I'll save the kid and completely. I'll refix him. I'll put everything back. So
Yeah.
he does it. He's like this natural surgeon. He's like incredible at
So
surgery stuff.
you kind of like while he's like going at it, like it's kind of like I don't know how to explain these like little moments of people when they're like doing something.
He goes in this trance like mode
Yeah, this
where
like
he just feels what he
this like
needs to be
this
doing.
like this like mode. He turns like this switch on, and then like he's able to figure out which goes where, like what he's doing. I don't know if it's medically true that he could do this like the way he did it, but like
I'm sure it could be done. I'm not
yeah,
sure with like modern medicine,
because
but
he
it
took
could be
he
done.
took he took a nerve from the guy's leg or something like that and replaced it with his arm. I remember that part. I didn't understand why, because what happened to the nerve? But anyway, yeah, he long TLDR, he patches him up.
Then his Mickey Mouse
Okay.
looking dad shows up
Yeah,
saying, "I'm not paying you nearly as much as I said I would. How
yeah,
about you just deal with it?"
yeah, and then he just deals with it.
And I couldn't tell he was being more selfish because he was like, "How dare you put like a price on your son?" And I'm like, "You're the one that asked for like this ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah,
Like,
but
if you can do it and it's not gonna like, it's no skin off your nose.
yeah, but
Save
he's
the kid."
yeah, but freaking he like to do that. It was risky, first of all, because if he didn't survive, he would be the one in trouble. You know.
You have to pay him for his trauma.
Yeah, exactly. So in the end, the 5 million yen was like to compensate for that. But the guy just effed him over. The Mickey Mouse faggot just effed him over, and I was like, "You dick."
Yeah, they got over their son being saved really quickly.
Yeah, yeah. And then so and they basically said after that, "Oh yeah, all that the money that he gave me, I have to pay for everything that I've used and stuff like that, and that this will just about cover it." So basically, he did the job for free, which was kind of sucky. But the show didn't make sense to me. But so yeah.
Yeah, it was. Maybe it's just because I had seen so much trash at this point, but this show was completely inoffensive to me. I thought it was a good time. It was a good 20 minutes. It was definitely different. And then we saw that cosplay of that dude getting naked as
Yeah.
young blackjack.
Mm. I wonder why he was naked,
Because a big part of young blackjack is his chest, I guess.
but he didn't show his chest.
I'm not
He
even
was
sure his name's Young Blackjack. I'm just
the
assuming his
naked
name is
guy
Young
was curled up
Blackjack.
into a ball. You didn't see his chest. You didn't see any of that.
Oh well. So that was a good time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing I'd really follow, to be
I'm
honest.
not
But
watching it because I don't see the point. But I mean, shit, it wasn't as bad as everyone's gonna. It wasn't the worst show. Let's just say that.
all right, now we're getting into shows that we kind of enjoyed, at least a bit.
All
So
right.
next up was The Perfect Insider.
What was that? Hold on.
The show was
Oh
cool.
yeah, oh yeah. This show's alright. I like.
This show's pretty cool, mostly in that I don't know where it's going. Like right now, I don't have that much to care about, but it has interesting enough characters that I'm kind of
And an
curious.
interesting enough plot because what the scenes that they show you were kind of just like what
Yeah, it has an interesting
like
hook.
what in a good way like you would kind of just like you would it makes you want to keep watching like which is a good thing because it was it starts off basically with this girl, she's like some sort of rich girl,
Yeah,
and
she's this rich, spoiled girl.
yeah, and then she works for a guy who's a scientist of some sort, I think.
She works with him. They're friends at the
Yeah,
college.
yeah. And then so they got this little relationship. Off the bat, you can kind of you get the vibe that she likes him.
Yeah,
That
she
he
isn't very subtle about it either. Their
yeah
conflict is that he cares about his work and he's really scientifically curious, but
yeah
she is interested in him just as much as he's interested in work. But
yeah
he just doesn't care that much about her, and
yeah.
she can't deal with it.
So I think the I'm trying to it's like the way the direction it's going in is that after these little scenes between the bickering of them two, she there's this like little scientist who's very mysterious. Like I don't she's got like she's trapped in her own room, blah blah blah, and and apparently she killed her parents or something like that. But
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
anyway, the main girl goes to see her for for like some sort of interview thing. Well, it was kind of like a very professional Skype call kind of thing.
yeah.
And basically,
Conference call.
yeah, so they like so basically she's able to meet her because of her connections in her family. But the girl that she meets is the guy looks up to her because of her work. And that's the only reason why the guy wants to meet her. So he's jealous that the main girl met her because he looks up to the girl that she met, if that makes sense. Which
Yeah.
I didn't explain it very well, but whatever.
The
And
show.
so,
The thing that struck me about the show is it kind of reminded me of Steins Gate
mm,
with its setting and characters,
yeah,
like
yeah,
and the way it's paced. Like you don't really. It doesn't really go out of its way to explain itself to you right away. Like you
yeah,
don't really get the vibe of the show. Like, and we've seen episode two. We don't really. Yeah, this is the only show so far we bothered to watch episode two.
yeah.
This is the first show that's really. It's being
Caught our
secretive.
attention, really.
But then again, it's not, after googling it, I realized it's also made by A1 Pictures, who are making the Asterisk Wars right now, and
Mm.
they have a terrible track record for actually holding shows up. Like I can count on my hand the amount of times that they've made a show that seemed interesting at first and then kept it interesting. Because they tend to things just
Mm.
tend to fall apart.
Yeah, yeah. But it's I think what since we've seen episode two, it actually seems pretty good so far. Like the first episode really gripped you, so that's why we watched episode two, I'm guessing. I'm guessing that's why we watched it.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's a good time. It's not really got much action in it. It's more dialogue, but interesting
yeah. Ooh.
dialogue.
I can't say that I care that much about any of the characters yet. Some of them are like
Yeah,
innately likable. Like the college professor
yeah,
Sensei Chan. He's pretty cool.
yeah,
He just has a nice aura to him, and the dialogue is usually pretty nice. Like
yeah,
I enjoy watching them just talk.
yeah.
Good stuff.
So it's a good time. It's not as I think the reason why I like it so much is because it's completely different to everything we've watched so far.
Yeah,
Which that's probably the
it
reason
helps that no
why.
one's in school. Like
Yeah,
being in college is a good prerequisite to getting me into a show.
yeah, true. Yeah, which is good. It's a good show. That's why I'm gonna keep watching it because it's a good show.
For
So
now, we don't because
yeah,
we know so little about this show that we don't know if it's going to be good. Like
yeah,
it could just completely fall apart.
yeah.
But
Because episode two was weird, dude. Episode two gave you the a very pedophile kind of
oh
vibe.
yeah, I don't. Well, let's not comment on that because I'm not even sure where that's going so
Yeah,
far.
true. Yeah, yeah.
I
All
couldn't
right.
make sense of it. So
Yeah.
for now, let's just assume that everything's all good between them.
Yep.
So this show was cool.
Yep.
Next up was Beautiful Bones, Sakurako's investigation.
Ah, yeah. This show.
This show was really cool. Like I
Yeah.
like this show a lot.
I like the show a lot. It was good. It starts off with like, where does it start off? Oh yeah. So the guy's like explaining himself and who he is. The main character. He goes to school. He's like just some random dude. And then he goes to school, and then like he's explaining himself while he's walking towards some sort of greenhouse place. And in front of a tree, there's this woman, and she's holding a skull, and she kisses the skull, which then puts you into the intro scene, and that's when you just like, the fuck?
Yeah, the show didn't make too much sense at the beginning, but then a few scenes later, we realize that they're a duo. They're solving problems together, and she's like this incredible forensics expert that nobody's realized is so incredible. So they
Yeah.
start helping out with crime scenes, and it's like it's a mystery show, but it's a sort of mystery show that I can appreciate.
She's a professional at constructing and deconstructing bones of animals and human beings.
Yeah, and just reading them overall, like
Yeah, and
understanding what they're trying to
and she's
say.
like from like things, not like things. Trying to find the word to describe it. From uh like little defects on
Yeah,
a
she picks up on
bone, on
every little
every
thing.
detail that she sees on a body. She can like pick up on, which is how you get into the vibe that it's a mystery show
Yeah, and
that they're trying to
it's
solve
also
problems.
a mystery show in the way that potentially, if a viewer was as smart as her, they could probably pick up on the things that she's picking up on
Yeah, yeah,
as they watch. So
yeah,
it just feels legit.
yeah,
it feels, and the things she's commenting on are actually interesting. Like she
yeah,
says a lot of interesting stuff, like how the foam and the water and the mucus in the body will like
yeah.
mix when someone's drowning and then create a
Yeah,
foam.
like because the first mystery that you're kind of dropped into was it was basically apparently this couple decided to suicide, but she quickly picks up on the fact that it's not suicide, this is a murder scene
Yeah, some sort of
because
double murder.
the first clue that she got was how the hands were tied because they tried to like do this sort of ancient ritual or something like that where they would kill themselves by tying his, each other to themselves.
That's not ancient ritual. That's just a display of love, I guess.
Yeah, or some shit like that. I
Be
don't know.
together until they die.
Yeah, together till the end, or some shit like that. Anyway, she picks up on that. She's like, "Wait a minute. Do you see how they are tied? The male is right-handed, yet it's tied to his right hand,
Yeah, and
and so
the
is
tie and the watch and
yeah, yeah, and so the watch, and so she picks up on all that stuff, and then she basically like gives the gives the conclusion that it was a murder.
yeah, the
The
writers either did some serious proofreading or they really are just like forensics
yeah,
experts because they give off the vibe that they really know what they're talking about.
or maybe they just like got stories from like local police or something like that, and how they were able to solve crimes, and they've kind of just dipped it into this anime, which is interesting. I like it.
Yeah, and the main kid, he's also a fun character,
Yeah,
even though he isn't this
the
genius.
main kid was weird at the beginning, but I'm growing to like him. I like him a lot actually. He's
He
actually
eats
pretty decent.
lobster. He's just a natural, likable guy.
Yeah, yeah,
He's not lame in the way that makes him unenjoyable to watch like a lot of these other characters are. He just feels
yeah,
like a realistic child
yeah, yeah.
following around this like
He
older woman.
feels like he's got an interest, which is obviously the senpai that he's following around.
And shrimp.
Yeah, and shrimp. Wait, what shrimp? Oh yeah, he's got an
He likes
interest in shrimp.
shrimp
Yeah, he likes shrimp.
apparently.
Yeah, and like so he's interesting because he's finding interests with the senpai, whatever she is. I don't know what
Yeah.
she is to him.
Yeah, and so episode one was a good time, but
Mm,
episode two was the one that really won me over. Like
yeah,
episode
true.
two was fantastic.
Episode two was brilliant. Episode two was really brilliant. But let's not dip into episode two. Remember, this is a podcast.
No, we can talk about episode two. We just talked about episode two of freaking Perfect Insider.
All right, fine.
We
Let's
can,
talk
we can
about
put whatever
episode
episodes we want. Yeah,
two.
so
Yeah,
episode two was this actual like a much more high tension, high stakes episode.
it was a fresh murder scene.
Yeah, so and the murder is still on the go, and they're only just realizing some sort of murders went down. So they're
Yeah.
getting like way in the thick of it, and the police are just complete idiots.
Dude, I
That's
love. I know that sounds stupid. How like the police are useless, but I kind of like that
yeah,
aspect.
yeah. You realize during episode two that was completely the point.
Yeah,
They're supposed to be these idiots.
the policemen are just like a classic comedic policemen who are just like don't know what they're doing. They kind of just
Like a teenager on the first day of the job.
yeah. So I like that, and then so it gives the two main characters more time to actually find out and figure out what's going on. So like
So in this one, they run into this little girl
the
who,
main guy runs into the little girl.
yeah, and they slowly realize there's
Middle of
something,
the night.
some sort of terrible stuff's going on underway, and it all culminates, you know, to save you this time of having to watch the whole episode, though you probably still should, with a murderer being on the scene with a knife, one of the policemen getting stabbed, and then them having to go through some crazy judo stuff to save
Yeah, I
themselves.
called it as well because basically, right, they find out the murderer is the drug addict, drunken husband
Crazy man.
or boyfriend or some other. So like, I was like, all right, one of these guys got to know karate to get this sword out of not a sword, this like knife out of this guy's hand, and then the main guy just comes out of
Oh
nowhere.
god, when they were giving CPR to that baby,
Ah,
this
yeah,
episode went ham. The show,
yeah.
by the way, one thing about Young Blackjack is it wouldn't go ham enough in letting us see the
Hasn't got enough. It
surgeries.
hasn't got enough. Young Blackjack didn't have enough feels for you to care.
Yeah, it was. I also just did not care about the kid because he was a total idiot, and
Yeah,
also they didn't go as ham visually as showing me the surgery because there's like
yeah.
content
Like
restrictions.
you don't know what they're feeling. Like you know that they're trying to save someone, but young Blackjack, he was in this trance. I don't know. He didn't. It was kind of like he was knitting and he was trying to find a great sweater to
This show,
give
on
his.
the other hand, goes really hard. It shows you everything. You see
Yeah,
these corpses in like perfect detail.
yeah.
You see like visualizations of all the stuff she's talking about, so that her dialogue's interesting to listen to.
Hmm.
And the show looks really great.
Yeah,
Like it seems to be, it's going for like a Hyoka-ish look. It doesn't look nearly as good as Hyoka, but it has like a similar palette and similar character design.
and it's much better than Yoka.
Yeah, the intro, that's comparing this thing directly to Hyoko, which is a show I can't stand. This show, all of the investigations and mysteries are totally interesting.
So far, so
Yeah,
far. Obviously, they could like we don't know because they could easily like repeat like the same thing but with like a different situation.
true,
But
but
like,
Hyoko was never interesting in the type of mysteries it conveyed. It was all just silly stuff like who left this door unlocked or why was this teacher in a bad mood. This is a giant show with
leaving.
all these stakes, and that high stakes doesn't always make a show better.
Mm,
But these are also interesting characters in their own right. So you
yeah.
really feel like they have a legit talent when they start solving these problems. Like
Yeah,
even the
especially
boy,
the little toddler was a great character they added in as well. Like the little toddler was great, I thought.
yeah, the fact that she was clearly hurt, but she just couldn't like communicate it in any way
Yeah,
because she was too young.
yeah,
That was cool.
that was great.
But very few shows will show like a baby in dire stress because the baby was trapped underneath the floorboard for like a whole day. So it makes sense. I was like, how's it alive? But then they explain it in a way that kind of makes sense, and they go pretty ham in making him look like they're just about barely saving the baby's life.
Yeah,
But
I'm really happy with this show.
yeah,
Like
it's huge
I am
taking
very very
twists.
satisfied with how this show's going so far.
So
And
this show
I'm
kind
ready
of
to continue.
rejuvenated my hope in the season.
Yeah, this is the Luke Skywalker of the fucking season so
The
far.
characters have like the perfect level of chemistry.
Yeah,
They're quirky in their own right, but they get serious. Like she has some sort of tragic backstory that she's not telling the main character about yet.
yeah,
So
yeah. It's good so far. I really like this show.
yeah, this was a great time.
Mm.
So next up was Kowabon.
Come on, what?
Kowabon was that was that weird that short 3 minute show about that girl who thought she had like a ghost in the bedroom. Remember that?
Oh, was it about the girl that got stabbed in the chest by a freaking camel?
No. We'll
Wasn't
get to
that
that
one?
later.
Ah,
This
okay.
was the 3 minute short. That was really the weird rotoscoped animation where it was like a ghost she was on a Skype chat on the
Oh
webcam.
yeah, this was weird. This was really weird.
Yeah, so this I'm guessing these gonna be coming out every week of just weird horror, strange horror
Yeah,
3 minute shorts. So yeah, it was pretty
three
fun.
FPS.
Yeah,
Like
it runs.
Skype calls.
The animation was very strange, and they right after it ended, they showed us how it was shot. So they just used real actors and then
Mm.
put some strange filters over them.
It was really the thing is right when it like the you know the what's it called, the poster for this show. It was exactly how the first episode would be. So after watching that episode, I was kind of like, where do they go from here?
Yeah, I'm guessing they just do
I
it over and over again.
Yeah, I guess, but
So I can't see that like holding up.
yeah, so they're just going to do the same thing. So basically, it's a Skype call between two friends. The friend that you are in the POV of is seeing things on her friend's side that seem strange, like little shadows, ghosts and shit, and like
There's not all that much to say. I guess if
crap.
you're interested, just go ahead and watch it.
Yeah,
It was pretty funny.
yeah,
I guess.
it wasn't bad.
Next up was Komori-san, which I watched without you. This was a 3 minute short about some girl with giant boobs who can't say no to people when they ask her for something. So this was stupid. I didn't like it at all. It wasn't funny. The animation sucked. The character designs were weird. Moving on. Next was that Soccer Team Kaze or something like that. Tantei Team Kaze.
What's this?
This was the show about the little girl who, like, apparently she doesn't talk to people very much, but then she goes to she goes to like this summer school or something like that. This cram school, and she runs into all these boys who like play soccer.
Ah, this show. Ah, this show. All right, yeah, this show. The little 10 to 11-year-old girl show, which will,
Yeah, this
yeah,
this show struck me as the type of show that this is like it's like Dance with Devils, but for much younger girls. So this is like for girls like 10 years old, just noticing boys or something like that.
just realizing they exist.
Yeah, and so it's just all these cute like 10-year-old boys surrounded by this one girl, and they're just being friends. It doesn't seem to have like a malicious streak. It's just
So the genre was mystery, but you only realize it's mystery till the end of this.
yeah, I don't know where they're going
which is
with
kind
that.
of weird.
They're gonna
So,
become detectives.
because basically they were basically just introducing all the characters, why they go to this little class that they go to, because all of them are stupid in some sort of subject or whatever, and then towards the end of the episode, this guy's like, you come here to the main girl. Somebody stole my bike. Help me out. And then end scene.
Yeah, that was it. It was only a 7-minute show, so
That was as far
whatever.
as the
I
show
don't have
went.
much to say about it. But
Hmm.
this the girl in this show, her conflict is that she doesn't get along with people, and she realizes the only reason she doesn't get along with people is because she doesn't care about people. So she says to herself like, "Okay, I have to start trying to start liking people." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Where's this going? What does this mean? Why why does this girl really not have
The
friends?"
show didn't fucking interest me. I'm not gonna care about it. I hope
Yeah,
I
it
erase
was
it from
nothing
my
special.
memory.
Like I haven't seen a single other person mention it, so I'm guessing
Good
I was
fucking
the only
game.
one that watched it.
Hmm.
Moving on,
Moving
Ibu.
swiftly along.
Oh, this was the stupid show. You barely even remember this show. Last time I checked, this was the show about the shrine goddess, Ibun Yousei something or other.
The shrine goddess.
She was like a hold on, let me try and it's called Hakone-chan. That's it. She was a she lives at a shrine. She comes out.
Oh
He
yeah,
showed
I'm
up.
looking at it
She
now. Yeah.
pushed the boy. He fell on some boobs. End scene.
Oh yeah, I remember this. This show fucking was what?
I was hoping because the poster made it look like it would be some sort of fun like slice of life comedy, but it wasn't. It
Nah,
was just 7 minutes of fan service.
it
So
was.
moving on, yet again, the next one was Fushigi. Oh, Somera-chan. This was the one that you were talking about. This is the one with the alpaca and the very strange animation.
Dude, this show was fucking awesome.
Yeah, this was the 3 minutes of the take like Nishijo or like Panty Pony Dash or something and just make it insane.
Yeah, like it was basically Nishijo, but crammed into 3 minutes. So
Yeah, a whole
we're gonna
Nishijo
put
sketch
shit
crammed in
there.
3 minutes.
We're gonna
Just
put shit there. We're gonna put shit over there.
spilling out all over from all day, every day, in
It
freaking
was
two
freaking
arms.
brilliant. As soon as I first saw the first scene, where I was just
The
like,
alpaca like
just
crushes this girl's chest.
it just pierces the chest for no reason.
This is
I
one of
was
the
just
most
like, "Alright."
fast-paced comedies I've ever seen.
It
Like
was,
this, everything was just happening so damn fast.
it was brilliant. I
And
don't.
then it was over.
Yeah,
They were like arguing over like rice and stuff, and then it just ended.
yeah. Another girl got stabbed, and then end scene. But it was brilliant. I
Yeah,
like.
I can see myself keeping up with this show.
Yeah, it was completely insane, but it was funny. It was enjoyable.
Yeah,
So
I'm sure I'll find 3 minutes every week
it
to.
was really random as well, which I liked. It was
Yeah, there
really,
doesn't seem to be any sense of continuity.
yeah.
And next up was now we're finally getting to shows that we actually enjoyed, like a lot. So this one was One Punch Man.
Yeah, this show
We're
was good.
finally friggin' here. One Punch Man.
I actually thought I wouldn't like this show, and I'll tell you why, right? Because when I looked at it, right, I thought it was going to be about this seriously stupid OP main character fighting the forces of evil, and then adding characters like as they go along.
I knew
It
right
was,
away that it would not be like a conventional superhero story.
yeah, but then it wasn't. It was fucking brilliant. It was
It is
it was
brilliant.
genius. It was genius and brilliant at the same time. The first episode was absolutely like it was kind of the first episode was kind of just
Setup.
it was just the setup show where he was realizing that, oh yeah, why do I fight? And then he fought a bunch of guys and then he was like, yeah, this is why I fight because it's it's fun or whatever, or he realizes why he's the strongest guy.
But you were right though. It is a show about being OP. It
Yeah,
is.
yeah, but it's being a show about being OP where everyone knows he's OP.
Yeah, he's
They
unhappy
make
about
it
the fact that
they
he's
make it
OP.
they make it so obvious that he's OP, just so you know, all right, this guy is completely broken in the anime world.
I
But
think that was kind of. I think that was part of the reason they named it One Punch Man. So it's like supposed to be OP. Now
yeah,
that I think about it, because that's the first thing everyone says when they talk about the show.
yeah,
Like, he's like overpowered to the point that he's not happy with how powerful he is.
yeah,
Like he did it. He got started with this starting fighting that crab because it was like really like invigorating. But
yeah,
now he's just killing everything without fail with one punch,
yeah.
and he just can't deal with it.
So the show like just continues on with just these amazing comical
Just
like
these crazy villains. All
yeah.
these, freaking Piccolo was here with like purple
Yeah,
skin.
Piccolo at the very and then like he just kills him in one punch, and he's pissed off that he killed him in one punch. That's because
Oh, also every fight scene has like the greatest animation
dude,
quality.
its animation is literally perfect. The fight scenes are brilliant.
Yeah.
Even it's an amazing show, amazing show. I really like it so far.
Actually,
Especially,
they could probably cram more gags into every episode if
yeah, I
they
feel like
tried.
there should be a bit more gags. You know, I feel like there should be a bit more like just funny scenes. Really,
Yeah, if they tried a little harder, they
to be
could
honest,
definitely cram
that's
more.
kind of like to me that's the show that's what's really making me interested in the show, like how funny it is.
Yeah, it is. It has this like comedic timing similar to Nishijo again,
Yeah,
where it will do this big setup and then this incredible delivery. Usually, it'll be the main villain monologuing about how crazy they are and
yeah,
how much they're going to kill him, and then he just murders them
yeah.
with one punch, viscera raining from the skies. So
The animation is actually, now that I think back to it, it's actually brilliant. It's
yeah,
perfect how
the gag of him just killing some monster outright has yet run its course. It's
yeah,
still funny.
it's still
Like
brilliant.
when that giant accidentally slapped the wrong shoulder.
Oh yeah.
That may be the most legendary joke that the show's done so far.
Yeah, it was like, no, I killed my brother, and I was just like, and then you after he's like screamed about how he killed his brother, you're just in front of this bold man, just with this stupid smile on his face, and
And then he kills the freaking giant with one
yeah,
punch to the face, just rips his neck off.
yeah, it was
And I love his explanation for how he got so powerful. Like he
yeah,
explains it in a way that we don't understand why they don't explain that he got bitten by anything or he's
yeah.
had some strange run. And he
His
outright
parents,
explains in episode
he's not
three.
rich. His parents
Everyone
didn't die.
asks, yeah, he just lives in some apartment. He goes shopping at a convenience store when there's like a sale on.
Yeah,
He just so he explains to his new sidekick and his villain how he got so powerful. He
yeah.
goes 100 sit-ups, 100
This is
pull-ups.
episode 2, by the way.
This happened in no, this is episode 2 or 3.
This episode, shit. Episode 2, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so he explains 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and like a kilometer run or something like that.
Yeah, like it's a one. It's like a no. It's like a 5 mile run or something like that.
And then they all go, "No, stop lying. That's not how you got so powerful." And he's like, "Yeah, that's all I did." And no one can accept that hard work is literally just how he got that powerful.
No one can accept that. Like there should be like some sort of like injection that he did, but no, he's just strong because he did it through sheer devotion to him wanting to become strong.
The show's constantly flipping between art styles. Sometimes they'll draw him in this super detailed way,
Yeah,
with, like
super
super passionate
serious.
eyes,
Wait,
and the
wait,
next time he just looks like Caillou with
yeah,
like
so,
little dots for
yeah.
eyes.
He changes from being a super serious TN from Dragon Ball into being
Caillou.
this little Caillou kid, and it's brilliant. It's freaking brilliant.
Yeah, the show's art is fantastic.
Yeah, I think the funniest scene so far in this show was the start of episode 2, where you're introduced to this new character. He's like a cyborg type of thing. He was saved. He tells his backstory of how his parents got murdered by a cyborg, and how he's gonna murder the cyborg who murdered his parents before he dies. Blah blah blah. So he's fighting this like little mosquito lady thing, and he's beating her at first, and then he accidentally makes her stronger for the reason I forgot, and then One Punch Man comes in and slaps the he
Oh my
he
god, that
backhands
mosquito.
he backhands this bitch into
Because
the freaking wall and splats her all over the place.
he was pissed off by the mosquitoes already because they were giving him a hard time that morning. So
Yeah,
now he sees this whole mosquito lady and he just gives it this one slap. In like 1 second, she explodes,
yeah.
raining blood
She
everywhere.
explodes into the wall, and at that point, the guy that you're introduced to in that episode, he's just like, "Teach me, senpai," and
The
then
show will sometimes get gory for no reason, like really gory, and it won't hold back. Like when he started pulling out the viscera from that crab guy.
oh, that was brilliant. He grabs the eye and he pulls everything from the inside of that shell. Everything comes out.
The show it has a very traditional sense of humor. Like
Mm.
a lot of its, like one of its jokes is built around the fact that one kid has a really fat chin, and it's just funny because of that.
Yeah, some of the jokes are really simple,
Yeah,
and
it plays its jokes really straight.
yeah, like it's not trying too hard. It's just kind of like all these jokes are just like
That
put
is
there.
funny. That is funny innately.
Yeah, and I like that. There's some
The
shows.
fact that he was gonna let the kid die, then it was like, nah. In this age of declining birth rates, you can't let a kid die. That was excellent. So yeah,
Yeah,
One Punch Man is going places.
yeah,
Keep an eye on it. This
it's
this
good.
is probably one of the best shows of the season by far.
Yeah, definitely.
And everybody was hyping this show, and I've heard
Yeah,
people complaining that too many people were hyping this show.
yeah. It started off before it even came out as like a 9 point something.
Yeah, it had like a 8.9 on Mal before it even aired. So people were like, "Oh, you're hyping up too much."
But it still stayed pretty strong. It's on 8.6 right now. I mean, and then like 2 episodes have come in so far. So I mean, surely it must be keeping that hype, kind of. I guess.
Yeah, so if you're into cool parody shows, then this is like one of the best there is right now.
Yeah.
Next up was Is the Order a Rabbit season 2. And this is another one of my freaking favorite shows this season because this show it came out just when I needed it after this flood of terrible light novel adaptations. So it was just really good to see a show just being innocent and fun. So this was I'm gonna say for my money this is probably the cutest anime ever made. Like I've runners up would probably be like what was that one show? Show by Rock was pretty cute, but this is probably the cutest show ever made. And
Alright.
it's kind of like it's just a burst of like gooey adorableness. So I said that I'd keep up with Non Non Biyuri last season, but I didn't. So
Yeah.
I don't know if this will actually keep my attention because it's kind of like it's the best version of a show of a type of show that I'm not terribly interested in. Like it hasn't really got much going for it in terms of like any sort of narrative or characters or ideas, but it's just well made. Like it is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like along with One Punch Man, this may be the best looking show this season.
Damn.
The year even. Oh wait, no,
Maybe.
Hibiki Phonium came out.
Oh,
So yeah, this show is every aspect of the show is just built around being the cutest possible show. Like that's its only mission statement. All of the humor is just cute. All of the character designs are cute. All of the character traits are supposed to be cute. All of the location design and all the music and everything is just built around being the most perfectly cute experience. And usually, I'm not always in the mood for that. But then when episode 1 came around, because of this flood that we've just been talking about for like an hour now,
Mhm.
I was just completely in the mood for it. I was like dancing around the living room when the opening theme was playing. So that was a good time. I hope it'll keep my interest. I'm not sure if it will. It's kind of like it's the anime equivalent of like something out of Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. Like there is not a bad bone in this show's body, and I hope it stays the course. And there's another show that came out around the same time, but it's airing right now called Yuru Yuri, which is another show that has a lot of fans, and it's pretty much the same thing. But with Is the Order a Rabbit out, I'm not sure it's really gonna stand its ground because they're kind of the same thing, except Yuri Yuri doesn't have any unique bone in his body.
Mm.
Like Is the Order a Rabbit has cafes and it has rabbits, so that's enough to separate it from the crowd. Yuri Yuri is just another cute girls doing cute things show.
Mhm.
But they're both good, both a good time if I'm in the mood for it. And so that's another one of my favorite shows of the season. And finally, probably my favorite show of the season so far is Utawarerumono.
Yeah. This show, I can't believe we missed it. Like,
Oh yeah, we didn't watch it for a few days for whatever reason.
yeah, we kind of just forgot about it, but it hit us like a shovel. It was kind of almost brilliant. Like,
Yeah, I thought this episode was fantastic.
so like it starts off really weird as well. You know what it gave me? It gave me like the 10,000 BC kind of vibe. Like,
Yeah. As
I
he was
thought,
running around
to
in
be
a
honest,
rag getting chased by
I thought that,
kids.
like, as soon as I saw the show, I was kind of like, ah, man, these guys are just gonna hunt mammoths and shit. But like, it's no, it's nowhere near that. It's like the guy. I don't know how to explain him because he kind of pops out of nowhere. I don't know
Yeah,
what he
he just
is.
shows he's just some sort of he's it's weird. He's
We don't really know where he came from.
yeah, we don't know anything about him. He doesn't they haven't given us any context on who he is, but he's a human, whereas everyone else are these cat things. And he gets saved by this girl, this fantastic girl who takes him back to the village, clothes him, gives him a job. And I loved episode 1 a lot.
Yeah, episode one really gave you a feel of how comedic and how brilliant the show
Yeah,
is.
it had really great comedic timing. All the location design, it gave me a real like Spice and Wolf vibe in terms of its old timey setting.
Mm.
I like that a lot.
One of the bits that of the show which had me just like because I didn't know what the main character was.
Yeah,
Like,
they don't tend to give you much
like
personality to these
yeah,
like
usually
main lead.
like the main character. I thought he was just gonna be well. He obviously came off as lazy, obviously, because he didn't want to do any work. But and like you kind of were just like, well, what is he then? What is he going to be? And then like
Yeah.
the scene pops out of when he's in a wheat like is it it's a flour machine like they've created by a river
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
it's broken so far. So they ask him, oh yeah, you're gonna have to do it by hand, but he's like, F that, I don't want to do it by hand.
I'll just
So
fix the thing.
yeah, I'll just fix it myself, and he does. He fixes it, and then as soon as that bit was over, I was just like, all right,
Yeah, and I
you know what
realized the
this guy
show.
is gonna be? He's he's your like Shiro from Log Horizon,
Yeah, he's
on the
very
older
similar to
side.
Shiro. Like, except he doesn't have nearly as much drive. But I
Yeah,
realized the reason he wasn't working wasn't necessarily because he's a lazy person, but because he just doesn't really understand the value of labor.
yeah,
Like from the
true.
perspective of someone that's just come out of a pit, he can't understand why he should dedicate his time to labor.
Mm,
So he starts making all the creative contributions that his friend didn't really understand,
yeah,
but it makes sense to him. So he clearly has this talent that hasn't been explored yet. The show clearly has plans for him because
mm,
apparently this is the only show so far confirmed to be like a 2 course series. Like it's going for
yeah,
26 episodes.
yeah.
So
This is gonna be nuts. This is gonna
it's
be
clearly got plans for him.
a wild
So
ride. But yeah, it was really good. So like,
episode 2 was also fantastic.
hmm
This is when the show started introducing more of its cast and
yeah, you can tell it's gonna go really. The cast is gonna be really really vast. Let's
yeah,
say that
that's what started giving me like a Log Horizon vibe.
vast
How it
cast,
started. It started taking like
rich.
taking this lens to society
Mm.
and them going out and working for the whole village.
Yeah, it's got that whole like everyone trying to be a community.
Yeah, it
Like
has the community vibe.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that
which I
was
like. I like community. I love that shit. And then because you're introduced to well, in episode one, you're introduced to like the chief of the village that they were staying at. If you know what I mean. He was kind of like the leader of the like warriors, the hunters, or whatever, what have you. I don't know what they were specifically.
yeah. They were just the going away team,
Yeah, yeah. So
hunting, bringing back stuff.
and like so, you're introduced to the princess, which they're taking to the capital. So they vow to protect her and whatnot, so on and so forth. And so they get kind of kidnapped. Like no, not kidnapped. They get freaking what's it called? They got freaking wrecked. they,
Yeah, they did
they got
because
freaking
the
they got
creatures that were attacking him at the beginning of the first episode they come back to kill finally in episode 2.
really.
So and the fact he again he starts showing like his how good of a thinker he is, but like devising this plan to kill the monsters.
I no, that was at the end of episode one, dude.
Wait, no, this is episode 2. That's the end of episode 2.
No, it
What when they
wasn't. That
go
was
on
the
the
end of
hunt?
episode one. No, that was the on when they go on the hunt is the end of episode one, right?
No. End of episode 1 where he fixes the spaceship.
Oh yeah, shit. Yeah, yeah,
The end of episode
yeah.
2 is where
Mhm.
he lures the centipedal into
Yeah,
this
yeah,
puddle of CG. That
yeah,
CG puddle looked gross.
yeah.
That's the one thing I didn't
But
like
I
with
think,
the visuals.
but that's the kind of thing it's going for. It's just a puddle of goo. It's not supposed
Yeah,
to look. It's not exactly supposed to look brilliant, I guess.
yeah. So that was all well and good.
Yeah.
Episode 3 was weaker, I'll say.
No, I loved episode three, man. You can't say it was weak. It was brilliant.
I thought episode 3 was much weaker.
The week, episode three for me showed that the other characters have some sort of they also are geniuses in their own right. I like that. I like that little thing because they introduced to the start of episode 3. They're introduced to the princess, which you thought was a talking pigeon, all right?
Oh
But
yeah,
it turns
yeah.
out
I didn't like the princess. She didn't seem to have anything
she was not.
interesting.
She wasn't interesting. She was just
Yeah,
meant to be.
she was just a cute girl.
Yeah, she was just a. She was supposed to be a princess.
I didn't want them saturating the character roster with just cute girls. And
Yeah,
they had these really stupid villains who were like just so ham-fisted and not interesting. How they were like how they were trying to like grab all the girls and like they spitting in the main character's face, and
yeah.
they just didn't talk the way real people spoke. Like they clearly didn't have like interesting ambitions. They were just patently evil.
Yeah.
Just the evil. They were like mustache twirling evil people. So that's what I didn't like about them.
Nah, but I didn't
And there
mind.
was
I didn't mind the
all
bad
this
guys.
obnoxious fan service. Episode 3 just didn't leave the effect that episode 1 and 2 had.
True, there were this like obviously they were taking a bath and shit, and that was kind of like, oh yeah, all right, again they're doing this. I guess it's kind of missed. The show didn't really have much fan service for it. I guess this is kind of the
Yeah.
compensate.
Up until this point. Like, one thing I
Yeah.
noticed about episode 1 was that the girl was actually peeping on the guy,
Mm,
which was really clever.
yeah.
I really like the girl in this show, and I really like the guy in this show.
Yeah, I really like both characters. They're both to me brilliant. I like them both. They're
I'm
both
looking
likable
this up,
characters.
and this show is actually it's actually based on an adult visual novel, believe it
Oh.
or not. So
Oh.
this is made based on a porn game, which is very surprising.
The fuck?
Well, not necessarily a porn game. There's lots to the game, but it has sexual content.
Oh.
So it actually got adapted into an anime 10 years ago, or 9 years ago, into a 26 episode anime. This is a re-adaptation. So I never would have guessed that.
Pretty freaking good readaptation so far.
Yeah, and this is being done by White Fox, who made Steins Gate and Is Theodore Rabbit
Mm.
and Akame ga Kill. And they're also making Is Theodore Rabbit right now. So this show doesn't look nearly as good as that show, but it's doing what it can. And visually it's holding up, and I really like the character designs.
I really like this show. Period. This show's
Yeah,
great.
this is the one of the shows I'm most excited for.
Mm.
Probably the show I'm most excited for. Like, it depending on what type of mood I'm in. One Punch
I'm just
Man, Is
curious to
Theodore
see
Rabbit,
what
and
they-
Utawarerumono.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I'm just curious to see where they go with it, because it's going to be 26 episodes. How will they hold up with 26 episodes? And what will their goals be? Like, where will the characters go? How will the characters develop? You know,
Yeah.
that's what I'm mostly interested in.
So we've talked about 25 shows, and we enjoyed like 6 of them.
6 maybe.
Oh man, like the summer season, even though shows did fall apart towards the tail end of the summer season, most of the shows were interesting at the very least.
Yeah, like I could go back to summer season and probably watch something that I didn't watch and probably enjoy it.
Yeah, like Monster Musume was a show that a lot of people liked that we didn't watch at all.
Yeah.
But that was probably better than the vast majority of what aired this season.
Yeah, like this season had a trend of just ecchi harem.
I don't know what's up. Like 2015, I'm not sure. I thought 2015 had been a pretty great year.
Mm.
But this is kind of holding it back because I really enjoyed summer.
Mm.
Like I know winter's gonna be a lot better because there's a lot of shows on that winter's got coming up. So that's probably gonna be a bit better. But for now, this is one of the worst seasons I've ever seen.
This is the worst season by far I've ever seen. So
It's
that's
the
what I'm
worst
gonna
season.
say.
But I'm also it might be this is the first season that I've watched every single show. Like we watched every show, so maybe they've always been this bad, and we've only watched the good stuff.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
because
that's just wishful thinking.
I don't think so because even in the previous seasons, I've always like looked at a show and thought, I could watch this. I'd watch the show, I'd enjoy it, but since there's other shows that are better than it, I wouldn't continue watching the show. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like this season, 6 shows. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I'm going to watch.
Perfect Insider could end up being great.
Yeah.
Perfect. The Beautiful Bones could end up being great.
Yeah.
The Erratic could hold its weight.
One Punch Man.
One Punch Man and Utawarerumono.
Yeah,
So
that's what I'm
those-
saying. Like those are the shows that are gonna like
Define this season.
yeah, those are the shows that, for me, they're gonna just define this season
But the
because
thing
like
is, we were excited for about 10 shows last season, and then about half of them held up.
yeah, true.
So, by that logic, if we're excited for 5 shows, then only maybe 2 of them will hold up.
Yeah, considering
Yeah, that's wishful thinking.
with One Punch Man, I just don't see how.
Yeah, I don't see how they could ever.
I don't see how they can flop on its ass because it's very simple. It's a parody and it's It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's very solid.
But the other shows, since they're building around characters and stuff like that, it's so easy for me to feel like they're just gonna smash it into the ground.
Especially since A1 Pictures is handling Perfect Insider.
Yeah.
So you never know when one of them's just going to show up in a freaking maid outfit.
Yep.
Or some foolishness. So yeah, that's pretty much the summer season. No, that's the full season. So just wishful thinking, hope for the best. Tell us what your favorite show is. It's probably One Punch Man. The only thing anyone's watching is One Punch Man. Like, I'm not sure if anyone...
Well, I know Seraph I've been keeping up with. And
oh, is that still airing?
Yeah, well, it's the second season that's come out, isn't it?
Oh, right, yeah.
I'm watching that, and Noragami, Origato, and I'm watching that. But, I mean, there's nothing really to say about them. They're just enjoyable to watch, and that's about it.
Owarimonogatari, I'm sure, is great, but, we're just not caught up on Monogatari yet. We'll watch it eventually.
Yeah, we will. We're catching up. We're at a fairly decent pace.
Yeah, we're about halfway through the show.
Yeah, so we'll catch up eventually.
Alright, so that's that. Tell us all about how much you enjoyed One Punch Man.
Yeah.
We'll do what we can to keep watching these shows and do a season wrap up in about 3 months.
Yeah, and I'll see if I can stay sane.
Yeah, see if we can stomach all these freaking terrible shows.
Yeah.
Well, see ya. That's the end of that. A little bit more depressing than the last one, but what can you do?
Leave a comment. I'll try and talk, I guess.
Bye.
Later.
What do you think?
Well, it's not the kind of music that old Willie Shakespeare here used to write.